Welcome to Capstan Ag's 2025 spray season updates for PinPoint 3. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a few of the changes in the background that you can't see on this PinPoint 3, and that is one of them is how we do memory. So in the past, in order to save the settings that you just entered into the display in the menus, you would have to hit the software restart button, or you would have to cycle the power on your machine in order to have a key switch power cycle. So we've changed the way that we do that memory. Anytime you change something in the menu now, those settings are going to be auto-saved along with your gallon counters and acre counters and all the other settings that are on the home screen. So a little bit of a change in the way that we save the data should make it a little bit easier to not have to remember to hit that software restart button. Next couple of features that we added in there is we added a new PinPoint 3 hub called the PinPoint 3 Lite to our lineup this year, and we're going to launch some new VCMs this year. So this operating software works for both of our PinPoint products. The standard hub that we've been using, the Lite hub, it'll be the exact same operator interface. So we've added in support for that along with the new VCMs, which we'll be launching later this year. And we also added in adaptive VT resolution. There's a wide variety of resolutions in our VT screens now, so the PinPoint should now really nicely custom size itself for any VT size that you have. The next features are a little more visual and also in the setup, so we'll review those right now. The first one is if we look down in the bottom corner on here and we see the boom switches. We have the master switch and 4 section switches showing. We've customized the software now to where it only shows you the number of boom sections that you have active on the machine. So if you have 9 ball valves on the machine, you're going to see 9 section switches. If you don't have ball valves on there, you're going to see however many section switches you assigned in the soft boom settings. So in order to see that, I'm going to go to the wrench. I'm going to go to boom nozzle. I'm going to go to the nozzle setup, and I'm going to go to the soft boom. So you can see in the software that soft booms 1 through 4 are set up, which is why we're seeing the 4 switches on the home screen. If I wanted to add a 5th switch, I could just add in a 5th soft boom right there. So now you see I've just put in some random information to have 5 soft booms or 5 switch assignments now. Hit the check mark on that, go back out to the home screen. You can now see that we have 5 ball valve switches for 5 different sections. So again, if you have ball valves, you do the boom assignments for your ball valve sections. If you don't have ball valves, you can customize any number of soft boom switches that you would like to use, and they'll automatically populate on the bottom of the screen. So that's a nice little change in features. Another feature that we've added to the PinPoint is if we go into the wrench and we go into the boom nozzle again, and we go into the nozzle setup, you'll see down at the very bottom that you have an option to enable fence row outputs. So if I check that box, you can see immediately that I lost 2 of my boom profiles. I'll uncheck that box. You can see we have boom 1, 2, 3, and 4 there for profiles, optional profiles to set up. As soon as I check that box, I lose 2 boom profiles. If we come back out to the home screen, we can see why, because where boom profile 1 was and where boom profile 4 was, we now have a left fence and right fence dedicated fence row nozzle button. So if I turn the left fence on, I can turn it on and off from the screen. I can turn the right fence on and off from the screen. So these are dedicated drivers for fence row nozzles that come from the hub. So you don't have to run fence row nozzles through a VCM. Again, only enable this feature if you have a machine with the wiring that supports it. That'll be in the machine specific documentation, but we do now have the option to run your fence row nozzles without them being tied to a VCM to run them from a direct output from the hub. So again, fence row nozzle feature. The next features that we have, we're going to go into the setup menu. So we'll go to the wrench, we'll go to initial setup, and initial setup we'll go to configuration. We'll scroll down. All this is the same until we get down here to line number 21, which is turf rate mode. So if I click on that, I can enable or disable turf rate mode, which will allow you to apply in gallons per thousand. The next line under that says tattler mode. I can enable and disable tattler mode. That enables the operator interface functionality for our electronic individual row flow monitoring system, primarily for toolbars. We have added a spot spray mode under here. So we are compatible with a variety of green on green and green on brown camera spot spray systems. So if you have one of those installed and hooked into your PinPoint 3 system, you would enable and disable spot spray mode from there. The next one is rate mode. So if you're on a toolbar, this would primarily be if you were using the PinPoint Light Hub as a conventional rate controller, or you're using Tattler. You need to set up your toolbar if you have half rates on the outside or rate and a half on the outsides. This just helps set up that universal terminal so that it sends the right information to the task controller for half rate and rate and a half support. And the last one below that, we've added in a manufacturer here. If you click on that list, we are now starting to populate all the default settings for the manufacturers. So if you're on a manufacturer of one of these particular sprayers, you can now select that and it's going to load in all of your default settings per that manufacturer. Those are all of the changes to the PinPoint 3 for 2025. Again, some of these features will come out later in the year, but a lot of the stuff is in the operator interface, and we wanted you to be aware of new things that you may be seeing in there and what they do right now or their future capability. Thank you.